What's up, everybody? Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Stay Lit podcast brought to you by Let's Get Lit Supply. This is a sober podcast about Christmas light installation, not whatever you were thinking. But anyway, today's actually my birthday, so does it call for a day beer? I don't know.
Happy birthday, Nick!
Thank you very much. Also wanted to give a quick shout out and a thank you to Jobber for their support. If you don't know what Jobber is, it is, in my opinion, the best CRM platform for communicating with your Christmas light installation customers. So if you guys want to get a free trial and then you can get 20% off your first 6 months, there is a link in the description. So go check that out. My name is Nick Glassett. And then always I am joined here by my partner in crime at Let's Get Lit Supply, Matt Billington. So what up,
How
Matt?
you doing, Nick? Hey, we didn't put our names up here today. We're slipping. I'll work on that.
People care or no? Well, here come the lives, by the way. So if you're listening to this on the podcast or on my YouTube channel, hit the subscribe button, and then we're live right now on about 10 other platforms and accounts. So that's why we may end up talking to some people live or answering some questions if we have some time. All right. So today I wanted to start off the show by saying, or by telling a story, actually. So I forgot to take down a lady's Christmas lights, and it's not just any lady. It is a longtime client. She was one of my first clients ever back in 2019. She was my biggest client in 2019 and close to it in 2020.
Let me guess. You're from South Louisiana. You're gonna say a Miss somebody. You're gonna give me a name. You're gonna start with Miss, like Miss Judy or
Miss Debbie.
Miss Debbie. You didn't take down Miss Debbie's lights.
So I'm walking into my house yesterday, I think coming back from the bus stop. Phone dings, like text message to my cell phone, which like no clients have, like almost none. And it says, "Hey, Nick, I was just wondering when you're going to come take down my Mardi Gras lights," right? So we swap out white bulbs and we go and put in purple, green, and gold for Mardi Gras on people who buy it. And she bought it. And so I look at it and there's no other text. Like I can't scroll up and figure out who it is. I'm like, well, I have no idea who this is. I have no idea who would have my personal cell phone number. I can't reply back and ask who is this, because that's like, I already look terrible. Let's not make it worse. So I actually went inside, got my laptop out, opened Jobber, and then in the client section in Jobber, I was able to search her phone number, and boom, she pops right up, Miss Debbie on Audubon Drive. I'm like, oh, dude, not that one. She's very, very cool. She absolutely loves me. She's a very picky client. Like the boys, when they go to her house, they're like, this is the house, right, where we got to do it. I'm like, don't worry, I'm coming too. It's one job I go on every time because she's very particular. But her house always looks beautiful. But yeah, so anyway, I freaking forgot. So then the story actually takes a turn for the worst. So we actually had the jump off had a school event yesterday, small one, just one obstacle course. So Isaiah comes in to go deliver the obstacle course, and I said to him, "Hey, I need you to go swing by Miss Debbie's house, go take down her lights real quick." He says, "Yeah, cool, no problemo." He's like, "What do I need?" I'm like, "Bro, just take the little giant, the A-frame ladder that like extends and transforms you." I'm like, "It's not high at all," and he's already tall. And then so he said something along the lines of like, "I'll just take the step stool instead," I think. And like, I was helping him load up a little bit. My phone was going crazy, so my brain said, "No, you need to take the A-frame," but my mouth never said it. And so then he gets there and then calls me and says, "Bro, we got a problem. The lights are stuck on the gutter above on the dormer window, and it came unplugged." And I'm like, "No." And so I was supposed to go back by last night.
Here at this point, you're just checking all the boxes.
So embarrassing. And so I'm like, "Okay, I'll have to go by." And I still do this to this day, dude. I drive myself crazy that I do this. I go, "Okay, that's whatever." I said some swear words, and I said, "I'll have to go by tonight and get them down. I'll throw a ladder in my truck and go get it down on later tonight." Well, by the time I get home, I had a 4 or 5 o'clock meeting, and then 2 phone calls to follow up with after that meeting, 1 meeting after the meeting, while I'm making meatballs with my AirPods in. Needless to say, I totally forgot to go because, like, I should never, ever, ever make myself the laborer. I screw it up every time. So, yeah, she still has Mardi Gras lights on her dormer window today.
Ah, man.
The good news is
He should have
Trevor's
just
gotta go
taken the
pick up.
ladder you told him to, man. He should have had the ladder. That would have done it.
I
And
know, it's
I
ugh.
I am while you're telling the story, I'm thinking, man, there has to be a time where we did something similar as long as, didn't take down lights. And I'm sure that there is. I'm not trying to say that it didn't happen, but the closest story that, is coming to me right away is we had this one pain in the butt customer that we actually had to fire this year. I try not to fire customers, but we had to fire one this year. So what happened was we put up their lights. It was early. We asked them, hey, can we, when can we do it? Blah, blah, blah. They agreed to a date. We went and put them up. A week or two later, they get a message from their homeowners association. You're not allowed to have lights up this early. So they call us all pissed off like it was our fault, right? So out of the kindness of our heart, we go take them down. Don't charge them anything. And then I personally go put them back up, later in the year when we have a schedule, right? So we get to the end of the season, and Mike was texting everybody and calling everybody. I think he was primarily texting everybody, but he just texted like everybody. We're going to be starting takedown on January 1st, and we'll just be taking them down in order. If you have any preferences or any requirements, let us know. Right? Otherwise you're on the list basically. She doesn't get back to us, and then she just calls Mike one of these days, screaming at him. And it was like literally, dude, it was like January 12th or 13th. It's not like it's what is today, March 7th. It's not like it's March 7th. Okay, it was January 12th or 13th, and she's just homeowner associations on it, has to be done within 7 days of January 1st. You should know this. Where are you at? Like all this stuff.
We're like, because we live there? What?
We don't know. Like, come on, man. So Mike let her go. I don't know. Honestly, I was softy. I probably just would have taken it down and went on because it was like a super easy job. But Mike was just pissed, and I don't blame him. So I back him. I back my guy. But
Right.
so he lets her know. He's like, hey, we'll be taking this down, but we're going to leave the lights. This was before we did leasing, so she owns the lights. We're going to leave the lights with you, and this is our last year. Mistake, obviously. So we get out there, and then the husband comes out, and he's like, you guys are really not going to do our lights. Like, it was like this whole thing, and Mike was like, no.
Good for you, Mike. Yeah, unpopular opinion, but I totally agree with you. I would have done the exact same thing. I would have gone out, taken him down, would probably not charged her, and got him put him back up. Probably not charged her extra. Yeah, I would have. I'm with you 100%. I'm not one of the people that talks like a tough guy on the internet. Like, I kind of tell it like it is, and I'm with you. Or it's just like I don't have the like I'm too attached to doing a good job. Like I almost feel like I can't let them down, even though they're letting you down constantly, right? Randomly guessing Nick's age 37. That's incorrect.
Whoa.
That is the close guess. I had last week. I went to go do this 1 hour sub teaching thing at my kids, my 10-year-old's classroom, because the teacher had a meeting or something. I don't know. It's so random. It's the second time I've done it. And one of the kids said something about, can I guess your age? I'm like, I guess if you want to. And the kids start screaming out, they're like 28, 31, 24. I'm like, okay, you guys are not even close. Not even close. So thank you guys so much. But I'm not telling you my age. You got to guess it. And I'll let you know when you get it right.
Oh, shoot. I thought you were going to talk about it, and then I was going to be able to make the comments I intended to make, but I can't until somebody guesses it. So, John guessed something. My microphone.
Cassie, so this is Cassie that works for me. She says I've been such an a-hole. I've been talking all day. Didn't even mention anything. Don't worry about it, Cassie. It's not that big of a deal. It's like everybody has a birthday, like, right?
He said Alfred told you to stop lying. Nobody guessed 28. Well, they were kindergartners or something. They don't know.
Fourth graders.
Wow, 28 still to a fourth grader. You might as well be 100. They don't know. Doesn't mean anything.
Oh, somebody got it right.
John got it.
Yeah,
Johnny is 39.
I have one more year. No, I have 365 days of my 30s left, and then it's like, ooh, I'm getting a little anxious right now saying this. Like, then it's over. Like it's over, and I'm on to the next chapter, the big 4-0, man.
40 is weird. And hang on, like cherish every day that your body doesn't just ache.
Explode.
It really
Oh.
it sucks. Turning 40 and it sucks. Michael guessed the 39 as well. My body started to fail me. The hip stuff started.
I guess.
My body started to fail me 38. So I didn't even quite make 40, but I still felt good. Even with the first replacement hip, I still felt good at 40. I got right back out of it, hit the elliptical and started doing dumb stuff. Got back on my mountain bike like almost right away. And then 40 hit and second hip, no good. So cherish it, man. Hold on to it.
I'm doing good. So I'm doing good. I ran 3 miles again today. It's the fastest 3 miles I've put down since I've been running 3 miles every day. So I crushed it. So everything is on the up and up. So let's
Alfred
go.
had a kid tell him at a setup that her mom has 2 boyfriends.
Hey, maybe it's consensual, dude. You don't know. People, times have changed. You can
I
have 2
think
boyfriends.
I think the boy was looking for a steady father. I think that's what he was telling you.
A fatherly figure in the bounce house delivery man.
My mom's got too many boyfriends. I need you to take some ownership here. Adopt me. Adopt me, please, sir.
Okay, here, let's get back on track. Here's a real actual Christmas light question. So Matt asked, do you save the Excel sheet for every Christmas light quote? So we are into Q&A bright and early here on the podcast, which I love Q&A, so I'm totally cool with it. But so the answer to that question is yes. Let me kind of explain. So basically the system I came up with is on Google Sheets. There is a little section of a spreadsheet where you input all the information for a bid you're going to do or an estimate you're going to do. So you go in there, you put the name, the address, phone number, all that. And then there's a line where you say roof line, and then you can input all of the lines or all the numbers of the roof line, and it adds it up and multiplies it by whatever you want it to multiply by. Our spreadsheet, I think, multiplies by 750, maybe 656, right? So that way, if you're going to price something out differently, like we're going to do groundwork differently than we do the house, and then you can build out the whole thing in there, and then it lives in there forever, and it's on Google Drive, so everybody has access to it. So the reason I did it that way is because when I hired an admin and a salesperson to go in and do that for me, it gives me the ability to kind of go back and see what the hell they're doing. So the other part of the accountability is after we finish a setup on a house, the boys bulb count it and send in the bulb count, and then we can go compare. We were priced at $7 a foot, and it should have been $1,400. And then it comes in, and we say it was actually this many feet based on how many bulbs are on it. It's simple math, and so we can see how close we were to our quote. We're usually really close. It usually comes in as under. But then to answer Matt's question, yes, that never ever goes away. The oldest one is at the top, and then Cassie just continues to scroll down, and just continue to input more and more and more and more and more down there. So every quote is in there that's ever been done, until I step in and start doing quotes and I break all the rules and I do it on my, I'm bad. But yeah, so every quote that's been done properly is all in there. So that way we can go back and research, if the customer says, oh, I thought we were supposed to do the right side of the house too. It just gives us all the information to make sure that we can kind of check our bases on that.
Matthew thinks that mom needed a third boyfriend with a water slide. I agree. Matthew, what's up, buddy? First off, how are you? I am not nearly as attached to the past or to each individual job, knowing exactly what we made on it as Nick is. He does a better job at that than me. I have a calculator similar to what he was talking about. In fact, I programmed one on Let's Get Lit Supply. Don't know how many people use that, but there is under the resource page a really cool calculator where you can determine different prices per jobs. So I would either use that or use my Excel spreadsheet or use my calculator. But I just kept that Excel spreadsheet open. And so once I sent a quote, the next quote I did, I would just re-input over the existing one. So there was no, I don't know, what are you copying it each time, or you created a template or something somehow that it stays in there. Mine I just used it over and over, and then kind of it's gone because I wrote over it.
Yeah, Cassie will just I think she just copies 50 of them and then pastes 50, pastes 50, pastes 50. I don't know. I'm asking her right now if how often she refers to it. Because I'm trying to remember, like, I haven't, fucking touched the thing in 2.5 years, 3 years. But in the early days, like, I feel like I was in it all the time.
So how often do you reference it after install?
I'm asking Cassie right now. I'm texting Cassie right now.
Oh, trying to get that information.
Reference let's see,
I don't
texting.
understand this. Alfred is saying, "Don't you hate when customers catfish you?" I mean, if they did, yes, I'd hate that. Like you pull up and ask for a Mrs. Thomas, and they say, "Oh, that's me," and yourself, you're like, you look like you ate Mrs. Thomas.
Oh, dude, I know exactly what he's
What
talking
is he
about.
saying?
Okay, so this happened to me with a Christmas light client. So the first year I ever did Mardi Gras lights, like, that's kind of a weird thing to advertise. So Facebook was great for it. And so I had a lot of conversations over Facebook Marketplace. So, anyways, I show up to go do these lights at what is definitely a Hispanic woman's house. Great English on the conversations, but like a clearly, like, last name Sanchez, the first name is like, but the J is a Y. I don't know. And I get there and I'm like asking for this name, and it's an African American woman. And she's like, "That's me. I'm Jamie." I'm like, Sanchez? She's like, "No, it's whatever, Smith," or I don't know. I'm like, "So," she's like, "Yeah, that's like a burner account. Like, I don't wanna give people my real information or whatever," but I'm like, "You paid me $500 deposit and gave me your address from the burner account. Like, what?" So I think that's what he's talking about.
Uh, I think he's actually looking for dates. He's upset that they haven't updated their Facebook picture, and they took on an extra 150 pounds since the last time they updated their Facebook look. So,
Oh, that's good. Oh, here. Okay,
oh,
Cassie texted me back. She said, "I use it again in case it wasn't clear to the guys, and I'm able to tell them exactly where by the measurements." Oh, okay. So basically what she's saying is, if the guys get on site, I believe this is what she's saying. The guys get on site and they're like, they text Cassie, "Are we doing the right side of the house or not?" And from the picture, the houses around here have all these weird twists and turns in the eaves. And so she can go back and basically quickly measure the house and go, "No, definitely not in there." Because she'll put the measurements in, 50, 28, 37, 42. So she said, because I
Matt's
can't
looking
remember
for
all
this
those quotes.
info. He's
And
trying
yes,
to get
that's
a little
what she means. She's watching right now. So yes, got the thumbs up on that.
Matt's just trying to get a little bit more organized moving forward and for pricing his reinstalls. Um, do you this that leads to a question. So you're finding out, hey, I'm off on the bulb count by X amount. Are you then using that information to adjust next year's pricing to include the additional bulbs? Or do you kind of say, we missed the mark on it? Next year's same thing.
Yeah, way too soft. Yeah. So if we're gonna go, like, we did one a long time ago when my mom actually was my admin. And why I did this alone on a Saturday, I don't know. I think it's because I thought it was such a small job. But I was like, fine, I'll just go do this alone. You know, keep all the money basically in the account, not have to pay labor, like, whatever. And we had bounce house deliveries out and stuff because it was still very, very early November, if I remember right. And so I get up, I pull up on the house and I'm like, this is not a 110-foot house. Like, what's going on here? And so I still did the job. It was like the minimum. I think it's probably $600 even, and it should have been like, 1,100 or 900, something like that. But yeah, I just did it myself. Bit the bullet, no big deal. And then as
Hey,
far as pricing the reinstalls, I don't know if we price those at the time of quote or not. I think we don't. I think we take the footage of what we actually ran and price it off of that. I don't know.
dude, I had the absolute worst soft moment this year. Let me tell you what I like, and it's all my fault. I screwed it up entirely, but let me tell you what I did, and then you tell me what you would have done if you had been me in my shoes. And um, other than just act like a little baby and be very pissy to the owner, I just sucked it up and we did it. But okay, so here's what happened. This sweet old lady calls me All right. So first off, I have a soft spot for certain people, and a
I
sweet old lady.
rescue. I
Yeah,
can't get
yeah.
on a ladder. My
My
husband died.
my husband's been doing it for years. He just can't do it again. I mean, it was
Yep.
one of those stories, right? So she's like, I was like, so what kind of lights do you have? Because I don't even like to do other people's lights, but I'll entertain it occasionally. We'd had some time. It wasn't like this was a busy, point. I think it was still fairly early, but we had the time. Like it wasn't a big deal. So she's like, well, my husband bought them all at DW Pro Lights, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, okay. All right. They're professional grade lights. Like, okay. And you got all the parts and the clips. Yeah, we got them all. Okay. Um, I said, so what is it? And I think she like basically told me the front and whatnot. And I jump on Google Earth and I look at it, and dude, it is the simplest house. The entire edge of the house um, is like 8 feet off the ground, right? So we're just going to be able to just move a step ladder, boom, 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 and just clip these things on and go. And I think she just told me it was like the front, and I'm thinking 150 lights at the max. I can't remember how much I charged her, $500, something like it wasn't a crazy amount, but I literally thought we'd be in and out in 45 minutes without anything. So I threw it on a list of a bunch of jobs. We did a bunch of things, and me and one guy show up end of day, like we were ready to go home,
Oh
and
no.
I think it's going to be 45 minutes. And let me tell you what this guy did. So she's sweet. He comes out and he brings everything. He literally took every bulb out from last year, neatly stuck it back in individual boxes of 25. Okay. They were incandescent, which I hate already. Multicolor. Okay. So you have to do a pattern. All right. And I think we counted, and I think it was 600 feet of lights.
600?
Yeah.
How? Was it the whole
It was the whole way around, and it had like a little U shape in the back. And I didn't know how many it was going to be when we started. It just looked like a lot. And I'm like, whoa. And I basically like, did that kind of good customer service, kind of bad, where I'm like, this is not what we agreed to. And like, you are getting, but it's an elderly man, I'm feeling bad. And I'm like, I already agreed. I'm already here. Like, just get the bulbing as fast as you can. And like, I'm just looking super pissy, but I did it. So it's the whole way around, and then all the ridge lines,
Oh,
every ridge line. But again, it was like the flattest house, like from the top to the ridge line, maybe only gained 8 feet. And
oh.
like it was very ranch style, very flat, 1 story. Nothing was hard about it. But I screwed up. Like it was my fault. I'm going to be 100 times more clear next year. But I was thinking, basically, I showed up thinking we're going to steal this poor little lady's $500, and ended up being like, she's going to steal my $1,500 worth of work. So I kind of got worked over. Would you have done it, or would you
I
have?
I actually think I probably would have been like, I'm so sorry, but this is not like I misquoted this and this is outside of the scope of work, for this. I'm happy. I think I would have not done it, honest to God.
Okay.
This year I would have been very like, oh, I would have felt terrible doing it. Like terrible having that conversation. But,
Yeah.
it's gotten to the point where so we had a whole bunch of so the first year that I ran professional lights, I messed up bad, where I was not closing that many jobs, in September, October as I thought I was going to. And so I started bargaining very aggressively on the reinstall. So the install that and I did some cockamamie math to where I thought it was correct. And so I've got reinstalls that are 60% off, 50% off, 40% off, and not easy ones either, right? It's not like the houses, it's hard to explain this, but the houses around here are just not like these. You can't walk the roofs, you can't, like, everything's too steep. It's just they're all new houses, and it's just like a southern style where the house is a normal ass looking house, but then the roof is just super tall, 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 tall. So it makes them steep. So you can get yourself into some really sketchy situations, right? And so this year, for whatever reason, a boatload of them were like, I don't think I'm gonna do the lights this year. And I like just text back, okay, cool. Like, got it. Bye.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so there's a couple next year where even the guys, like, right, the guys make hourly, but my employees are very dedicated, right? They're very bought in. And so, I remember Logan's texting me like, "Bro, what the fuck am I driving clear out to West Wego to do this house and it's only $400, blah blah whatever." And I'm like, Because your boss is too nice to freaking cut people off." But it
Yeah.
really is like you just kind of start to learn where it's kind of like not trying to be rude. I'm actually like uncomfortable to have this conversation, but it's just not the juice ain't worth the squeeze. Like I've got one of our biggest clients where I did that stupid reinstall discount on first year, sold a $5,000 job, then reinstall is I think probably 2,500. And we've added some stuff and changed some stuff, so the price is different now. But we've got to wrap two small oak trees, but still each tree is $1,100 is what it should be new. And I went and did the labor math on how much labor hours it took on it and how much we charge. And I'm like, I think I'm gonna fire one of the most prestigious families in the entire area because it's not worth it, you know?
Mm.
It's not, because it's like
Yeah.
it's the opportunity cost, that job costs like, labor cost on that job is like was 60% or 70%, where the average is 7 or something. It's like,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah, but that's what makes Christmas lights so awesome is the job I talked about, even the job that you're talking about there, we didn't lose money. We still made significant money. It just wasn't what we could have. So what we really
Right.
lost was opportunity. And we all lost some of our personal time. Like I was expecting to be home in a few minutes. And that was honestly, that's kind of what made it so bad is me and the other guy were both ready to be off. And
Right,
like,
and that's
at
why I
the end
think
of
I
the
would've
day,
said no.
you just got a little bit too much sun and you just need to be out of the sun. So luckily they had some
Yes.
shade. We bulbed them all in the shade. Like we really could have put because it was so simple. If the guy had not unbulbed it, that's the thing. He unbulbed every freaking bulb. If he had not unbulbed it, it would have been still even though I think it was about 650 lights, it would have been less than 2 hours, no problem,
Right.
because it was just that easy. I mean, you could put 20 feet up a minute, you just click, 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 no problem.
Right,
But
especially if you're walking the roof. We go and do those from the top and clip
we were,
down.
yeah, I clipped down. So basically, I got him 200 feet or so, maybe 150 feet. I'm not sure. We went through, I got maybe 150 feet done. And then I said, just bulb as fast as you can. And I started doing it from the roof, just whole way around. John Jr. says, I have not done Christmas lights, but maybe I will in a few years. How does it work with the insurance? Is it the same policy as your inflatables or a completely separate policy? John, I 100% run this as two entirely different businesses. I do not want the liability from either the inflatables to touch the Christmas lights or the Christmas lights to touch the inflatables. So I personally have an entirely different LLC, entirely different website. Everything is completely different bank account, the entire thing. And we run our own general liability policy on that. And then also a workman's comp policy that is separate as well. You probably could save a few bucks, but for me, it just does not make sense to put them into the same bucket.
Yeah,
What do you
I
think, Nick?
actually asked. Yeah, exact same as you. I actually asked, right after the jump off got insured that next winter, I probably wrote them an email, and they were like Cosio was like, "No, hell no, that's a separate," they, like,
No
chewed me out.
freaking way.
And I was just like, all I was doing was asking, like, chill out. She went like nuts on me, but that's kind of how Cosio is. But yeah,
That's
yeah, same as you.
I've never heard that, but I mean, I've never had them, but that is what I've heard. I've heard Casio can be very strict. And here's the thing. I get where they're coming from for this reason. I don't believe that you would, Nick, but a good portion of people would just do it anyway.
Oh
You
yeah,
know what I mean? Or not ask, right? And then even not asking or just doing it anyway after they asked, and then there is a claim of some sort, and then you get into the whole, will they cover it? Will they not cover it? Like that whole thing. There's a fight there. So I can
right,
see.
right.
Matt says he wishes there was sun. He's tired of hanging lights in the snow. I I don't
Ugh.
I mean, I don't understand.
Yeah.
When we're hanging them in, we'll say late September, we do hang a few late September, and we definitely hang them in October. Like there's been 100-degree days. It sucks. Like
Yes, yes,
it
we did. Yeah,
sucks. And a
it's
lot of
terrible.
90-degree days, and you start feeling okay at the 80s. I personally like this isn't a maybe I'm crazy, but I just this like energizes me to be at the very, very peak of a house, the top of a roof, either pretty close to the sun coming up or the sun going down, one or the other. When the light's just a little bit weird and like the whole neighborhood is quiet, and then you're at the top and all you can really hear is like maybe nature, some birds, that sort of stuff. I don't know. I just get like sometimes I'll just sit at the top for a minute and just like take it in. Am
Yeah,
I
it's
weird or do you I mean, have you ever had that feeling?
yeah, where you're up there. Oh, I used to take back in the day, I used to take a roof selfie, AKA a roofie, on every house that we did, um, where I'd get on the roof, and then it kind of evolved that one year. Every house we finished, I climbed to the top of the house and, like, did this pose and took a picture with it, and then, so it was a good time. So, yeah, 100%. But the snow, I grew up in Salt Lake City. I had snow until I was 20. I left when I was 20/21, and, I got to California and was like, "Oh, guess what, guys? I'm never, ever, 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 ever moving back to where it snows or is cold. No, thank you. Bottom Sun Belt for me, baby."
So I'll take it. Matthew runs it as a DBA, and he's meeting with a CPA next week to get his advice on separating the two and keeping it as one company. Offline, Matthew, let us know what your CPA says. I think they are
Yeah, I
going to
don't know
want to
anything about
separate,
that.
but
I do
I
too.
don't
I do
know.
too.
I don't know 100% what the DBA gets you, doesn't get you. Like maybe does the DBA give you a certain amount of liability release from the other company, or I would kind of still think it's the same exact entity as far as like insurance is concerned. Like I would think if you're just doing a DBA, uh, as in like big and bright inflatables, DBA, big and bright Christmas lights, I would think that if one was to get sued, that they would, God forbid, but that they would still be able to get to the assets of the other company, is what I would think. But
That's
I am
interesting.
not,
Yeah, that's it. I don't know.
I don't know that for an
But,
answer. Don't take that as gospel or anything.
what
Definitely
we
talk
do,
to somebody, a
the
professional.
second part of his question says he's gonna put 1 or 2 guys on salary this year, so having them as 1 worked well for that, which, right, I can see. But you can
Yeah,
still,
for sure.
like, my 2 businesses don't fund each other, meaning I don't buy Christmas lights with inflatable money, and I don't buy inflatables with Christmas light money. But being as both are housed in this same building, I can kind of pick and choose who pays the bill this month, so to speak. So
Right.
the jump off will pay the, more or the rent on the building all the way up until September, I think October, and then November. Yeah, I think November, right? November 1st. And then on December 1st, January 1st, February 1st, Let's Get Lit money pays the rent because that's where a ton of the money is. And it just helps keep the jump off in the off season, right? I have a hard enough time making payroll in the off season because of my salary, because I'm not generating enough money to to pay myself a break even. I'm declining constantly through the off season. Maybe not November, but definitely January and February are always tough. So I'm able to pay the bills with the Let's Get Lit money. Um, I don't have anybody on salary, so I don't know if it would work to do, right. Let's say you want to put a guy on salary for 60K, so then put him on the inflatable business for, just call it 30K, and the Christmas light business for 30K. There's a 60K salary. I don't know. You'd have to figure out the logistics of it, but I kind
Yeah.
of do. I kind of do use both to make sure, like, I pay the electric bill out of Let's Get Lit. You know what I mean? In January, because that's got a bunch of money in there.
Yeah, I need to be better about that. We basically, I've just let the big and bright Christmas lights just get a free ride on everything. So they don't pay any electricity, they don't pay any rent, they don't pay anything like that. Now they do pay the hourly rate for the installers,
Mhm.
and stuff like that. So they do pay for the labor that they use. But there's probably It's probably something that I should do to go ahead and do like you do and go ahead and, hey, for those 2 months or whatnot, switch the rent over or something like that. I'm not sure. There's
Yep. Yeah.
probably a
Like,
good thing in there.
yeah.
Justin wants to know if you put up an inflatable for your birthday today. I'm sure that you did not.
Oh, so I have a very not yet. I have a very busy day today. So I've got this show. Then at 5 we have Booze and Biz. So it's some 2.5 hours. We have Booze and Biz. Tonight I have on Emily from Sun Fun Inflatables, and then that's probably gonna have to be a sober show too, because then I have to leave Booze and Biz and go directly to the soccer field. We have a makeup game tonight for my 5-year-old girls team. So I've got a 7:30 game for the 5-year-old girls, and then so that'll be over probably about 8:15, and then my son's practice ends at 8:30. So I've got it pretty wall to wall today, and I had to take the kids to the dentist this morning at 8 a.m. So it's been a wild day. So probably no fun and no partying today,
Justin,
unfortunately.
I can't even put your second comment up. I just refuse to do it. So, um, uh,
Oh, I see.
yeah, I got roped into coaching this year, so I'm gonna end up being a volleyball coach for my daughter this year. That's something that I've never done before. I've never coached. It's not ever been my thing. I always liked to play, but I didn't like to coach. So I got
What's the
to do
age
it this
group?
year. She's 10, so it's gonna be
Oh,
some
okay.
10-year-old girls,
So
and it's
I'll
at
give you.
Y, so it's not gonna be high level, I don't think. So
Yeah,
we'll
that's
we'll
good.
see. Now to be fair, I am the name on the list and I will have to be there, but the true coach is going to be my 17-year-old daughter. So basically I am the proxy coach or she's
So
the proxy
okay.
coach. You see what I'm saying? She's the volleyball player. She wants to do it, but she's not old enough to qualify to be on the list. So
So
I'll be like,
I will
yes,
give you
dear. What do I do?
some.
What do you want me to do?
Right. I'll give you some tips. So I coached my 10-year-old, who's 10-year-old now, but I coached him for 4 years when he was coming up. And then he switched to academy this year, so I couldn't coach him. And then I switched to coaching the 5-year-old girls this year. So some tips. So number one, the more prepared you are going into this freaking practice, the better. So don't just go in and be like, all right, what drills do you want to run? Have that conversation prior. And then I make it,
Right.
even for the 5-year-old girls, I have the notes of the warm up we're gonna do, the 2 drills, and then we're gonna scrimmage. And you're able to just it's so much more organized. The next one is don't be too nice. We had a really good soccer team 2 years ago when I coached my boys team when they were 8, and great talent. Just right. I still play soccer. I'm still a pretty decent, a highly above average soccer player. We got smoked every week, and I couldn't figure it out. It's because I was too nice. My wife came to me, she's like, "Dude, you need to make these kids run or something. Like, they got no discipline." I'm like, "Yeah, you're right. Like, yeah." So I
Yeah.
was a hard ass on them, and then pop the next game. I'm like, "Whoa, they are a different freaking team." And then the third piece of advice, I've never had to use this one because I've never had this issue. But my good friend Mike told me this. He said, if the parents are too overbearing, just bring a notebook, like a notepad, like a yellow notepad, and so then you can pass it around and put all their phone numbers, sign up for treats after games, like, just something to kind of distract the parents, especially at the first practice, because they can be a little overbearing. I've never had that one, but that was his tip.
I can imagine. Justin figured out how to get on the screen.
What?
Justin figured out how to get on the screen.
Oh,
Well,
give
we
you
haven't really talked about any topics yet. I think we were going to talk about some gear. So where do you want to start
here. Here, let me
talking
grab
about
mine.
gear?
Mine's right here. Freaking stuff.
Hey,
Okay,
maybe
this
Let's Get
is
Lit can buy you a new chair this year. What do you think?
I know. I was gonna order one the other day. Oh, yeah, so I was gonna order one the other day, and I'm like, dude, I'm super picky. I'm gonna hate everything, so I have to go to a store where I can, like, try them on, you know? And I've been so damn busy. I've still got this ugly you should see it. It's terrible. It's terrible. But anyways,
I
this is one
I
of
can't.
my favorite pieces of gear. It's really the only piece of gear that I freaking use. It's not fully stocked right now because it's not Christmas light season, but basically, I add on to that tool belt anything I need, so it's always on me. And there was a bunch of crap on it early season this year, and I turned to Trevor, I'm like, bro, do I just look like ridiculous, like I'm out here trying too hard. Like I got so much stuff on my belt. And he goes, "Oh no, no, no. The more you have on your belt, the better. Like it's just every piece of tools that goes on it makes you one bit this much more manly." So I'm like, all right. So I had, by the end of the year, I had gloves hanging off of it that I never wore. It was fully stocked, baby. But the reason I started wearing a tool belt, I got made fun of when I first started doing it. But I'm like, dude, I'm so tired of like shits in my hoodie, or I get up on the roof and I forgot the female plug. Like, oh, I just hated it. Or like you're ready to cut the wire and you're like, can't find my. So I was like, nope. I already had that exact tool belt at my house. So I just started wearing it to install Christmas lights, and instantly my life was changed. And then I started requiring my employees to wear it because they don't lose their tools. If they don't have a tool belt on, they set their pliers down. There's just crap going everywhere. And then they come up to you and go, "Hey, boss, I can't find my wire cutters. I need a wire cutter. Can I borrow them real quick?" Then you never get yours back. So I started requiring them to wear them. And tools were not lost. And anytime there was ever somebody came up to me and asked me to borrow my wire cutters, I'd look down. They weren't wearing. I'm like, "Bro, no." The answer is no. No, I need it real quick. No, no, no. I don't care how much I'm paying you. No, go get your fucking tool belt on. And then, so now it's like part of the uniform. Like literally everybody's got that on when they're installing.
Yeah, listen, I could never get on board with the tool belt. I tried it. I bought them at the beginning, especially I bought them. And it makes perfect sense. And I love the fact that you can use it. But what I didn't like about it was like I just like the free climb. I like to get all over. I am always laying on my stomach, laying on my legs, weird, doing all sorts of weird things to get to strange places. And I just always feel like the tool belt, like I'm laying on it funny. Or when I lay in certain angles, I dump it out and then I get male and female fittings running all over the place. So the tool belt, for whatever reason, just doesn't work for me. So this year, Mike had this great idea and he ordered them in, and I just absolutely loved it. It was like a fishing vest. We actually went to a fishing vest. It had pockets everywhere. First one was super like Santa Claus red, looked ridiculous. You guys saw it in the videos, I'm sure. And I eventually like, man, I really like this. So I spent a little bit more money and got a nicer like black one that I actually liked, but does all the same things, but I could zip everything up. So like I had like males on the left, females on the right. And then I got sort of super crazy this year and I went on Amazon or something, I think it was, and I bought like tool safety bungees basically that clip on. So I put one on my needle nose pliers, and then I clipped it to my little vest, so I wouldn't drop it or anything like that. And then, dude, when I was using a stapler up in a tree, oh wait, we're not supposed to talk about that. Sorry, but when I was using a thing up in a tree, I clipped that on there, dude. That saved up. Like I dropped it a number of times, and I didn't have to get down. It was kind of great. So, I mean, I stand for the fishing vest. I think it's kind of awesome. And then I zip up everything that I don't need. And, I'm not chasing as many things all over the roof. And it just kind of goes with me. It's kind of part of my body. So
Yeah, the
fishing vest
vest
for me.
thing, like there's companies that make tool belts that are vests. Like they're literally like take a tool
Yeah.
belt and turn it into a vest. It's like a thing. So yeah, I mean, I'm a big fan of whatever helps you and you're into. Like, I like to sound like I sound cool. Like my tools are all clanking around as I come down the ladder, and like makes you feel good, But
Feel like a handyman.
yeah,
Uh,
right.
Kevin giving love to the fishing vest. I like it. All right, let's talk about so shoes. So I bought a bunch of Cougar Paws for the team, and Cougar Paws. If you don't know what Cougar Paws are, they are a roofer's shoe. They make them in a couple different styles, and they are expensive. They're like some Air Jordans for your
For
roofing
real.
experience, payment wise at least. And they have a padded bottom, similar. It's kind of similar to just like a foam cushion, but on the bottom side. And so they grip to that asphalt shingle and they give you some grip. Um,
I don't.
what do you think
I wish
about them?
mine were
I
nearby. Mine are in there
I don't
somewhere,
like them.
but
They're
no,
great. They're
no,
fantastic. And I want my people to wear them, but I personally don't like them. I
no.
I
Couldn't
like
wear
a
them.
I like a something I like something super light. like a tennis shoe basically that fits pretty tightly to my foot, but is also like flexible, got a lot of bend to it. So I think you're going to think I'm crazy, but I tried this year. I liked it so much. I think I bought 4 pairs and went. I didn't wear them all out, but I went with a Croc tennis shoe this year.
Yeah,
An
you were
actual
wearing them at
Croc tennis
IAPA,
shoe.
right? That's what you had on at IAPA?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and I think it's actually not a bad idea for the inflatable business because a lot of people wear the Crocs, but the Croc tennis shoe is waterproof as well. Super light, comfortable, and then like as far as the roofs were concerned, it seemed to just like really grip into the asphalt. Not to the extent that the Cougar Paw did, but similar without feeling like I have like a clown shoe on or a like a steel toe boot on. That's what I feel like the Cougar Paws feel like, a steel toe boot.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. They are very effective at what they do, but you have to take them off when you get off the ladder. They're hideous and they are clunky. I wore that. So when I was a less experienced installer, we did a huge house that was 5 grand, and I should have charged over 6 for it. I was a little underbid on it, but on that one, it was like you can't even explain how you have to do this. Like I had to take a ladder up to the top bar, like a beam of the front awning, get on that beam, and then get on a pitch hopper, and then get on the roof. It was crazy. I wore those that day 2 years ago, and then I probably put them on a couple other times, and then I was like, "These are no, no, thank you." So then I let my employees use them, and so then last year, I was like, "Here, you guys just use these." No, barely ever got used. So I was gonna buy everybody a pair too, and then the guys were like, "No, mm-mm,
Yeah.
no."
I bought
I wear my
4.
worn out running shoes.
I bought 4 pairs. I believe that came up to over $900 for 4
Ugh.
pairs because they're 200 plus. I think they're
Yeah.
225 or something like that. It's insane. So, I mean, I hate when it gets so we deal with the heat here probably like you. So there's a good portion of the time that I am in shorts. But ideally, it's cool enough that I can wear jeans because jeans definitely help. I did try some of that steep gear assist shorts this year that's got the little padded bottom.
Oh, yeah.
It served a purpose, but eh,
I
I don't
heard
know.
the other
I'm not gonna go
day
buy them for my team or anything like that.
Yeah, I heard the other day, I wanna say it was, like, some random post on Facebook, I don't remember, but, like, the comments were going crazy, and, lots of hate for them, but there was somebody in there that was like, "You guys are stupid. These are for if you fall, it stops you from sliding, like, it's not meant to be something you use all the time, it's like a safety feature, so you buy them for your employees, so if they do slip, their pants will grip and they won't fall off the roof." I have no idea if that's true or not, but
I could see that. It is not grippy like the Cougar Paws are or like, yeah, it's definitely doesn't work like why can't I think of the step things? We sell them like crazy. We promote them. We
oh,
love
pitch
them.
hopper, pitch
Pitch
hopper.
hoppers. My mind just got
Go to
blank.
Let's Get
It's
Lit Supply and buy a pitch hopper today.
buy a pitch hopper today. Now I do recommend the pitch hoppers. Everybody's got to have a truck
Every
full of
truck.
pitch hoppers. Every
Yeah,
truck has
every
to have
truck.
at least 1 or 2 for your people. And Kevin is all about the couch cushion. I 100% agree in the couch cushion too.
Love
So
mine.
for me, the couch cushion is definitely easier to maneuver around than those steep gear assist pants. I mean, I know you're adding another thing, but like your grip, the grip is better. You can sit on it. I'm all for a couch cushion. I
Yeah.
sign off on that one.
We
We
kinda
do not
use
sell
well,
those though. You got to go to a thrift store and just rip one out of a couch or
uh, we use the pitch hopper like kind of like a stair. So, top of the ladder, pitch hopper, and then you can step up onto that, maybe do a dormer window from it,
yep.
but not moving around. If you're gonna have to move, like, do a long strip that's up on the roof for whatever reason, or if you're gonna clip from above, a gable, up the side of the gable, then you're going to want that couch cushion, sit on that couch cushion and scoot and clip up that.
Yeah. Once you get like the hang of it, there's just kind of a way that you set your body. You're kind of like on a portion of your butt and a portion of your like knee and a portion of like the side of your shoe, and then one is flat down. So I get, you probably have this, but I get these really distinctive wear patterns. Like the back pocket on my jeans, gone. And then like on my knee, and then one side of my shoe is always ripped to the sock by the middle of the season. We lost him. Nick is gone.
Hold on 1 second. Pause. I'm on pause.
I'm on pause, so I have to take over. All right, so we're gonna move over and to talk about a couple other types of gear. So the one that we promote, we don't sell it, but you are able to get it, is the Steep Goat Assist. And if anybody has seen the Steep Goat Assist, it does definitely help. We made a video about it last year, and I think Nick made a video about the Steep Goat Assist as well. I don't use it a lot, but I recommend my people use it a lot. I am kind of my own goat on the roof. I can get around really, really well. And so it's just another thing that I'm carrying. But Nick, tell us what you think about the Steep Goat Assist.
So I bought two actually in 2022, and we did use them on some crazy stuff, but not that much. And I was kind of like, man, that sucks, because each one, like I bought the extended version with the carry bag or whatever, so each one was, I think, $1,300 or something around there.
Yeah, dang.
And
Yeah,
so
they are.
then what I did this year was I said, we're going to build these and leave them on the ladder rack built. So that way you don't have to go put it together. Cause that was the problem I found out, where you'd look at it and be like, oh, fuck, I wish I had the goat. And then you look over like, oh, I don't want to go build it. And so
Yeah.
then I only installed up until the week before Thanksgiving. But it was, since it was built, I was like, oh, dude, I'm just going to use that. And so then you just wheel it up there and you go do, right. Again, I have super steep roofs around here. So you get up on that and you can stand on the ledges of it, or the handles of it, the stairs of it, and do the dormer window. And then I would get to the top of the dorm. I'd go up to the top of the dormer window and sit on it, move the goat to the other side, come down. And I was like, yeah, the goat for the win on those kind of things. As long as it was built, like they're still out in the warehouse built, hanging on the wall.
Yeah. It doesn't seem like a lot to put them together. I think it's only maybe 8 pieces, but it's like a bunch of little lock pins that you got to just
Yes.
in and out, and you're trying to jam it through one side into the other side. And
And
if it's
on the
not
whole time you're
built, you
building it,
just
you're like,
don't
I'd have been
you just
done
don't
by now. It
do
would
it.
have been harder, but I'd be done.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing with all this stuff that we're talking about, it comes down to like your personal comfort level on a roof, and like my level versus somebody else's level of comfort is just completely different. So I'm basically for like all the safety things that like you need to feel fully comfortable, and I'm very, very clear with my people, like from day one, like don't do anything you're not 100% comfortable that you can do without any sort of safety misses or that sort of stuff. So
There you go. There's it's gone. There we go. There's this. That's what we're talking about. So it's a hook that goes on the ridge of the roof, and then you can use these as handles or step on them. It's fantastic. Absolutely love.
I think we've talked about it before, but if we're just talking about gear, I mean, so that's pretty much it. I mean, this is not a high level of gear. Are we missing any other thing that people might be carrying around with them?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm with you. Like, I'm sure we are, but we run it. I tend to run it so lean. It's like
Yeah.
every truck has a pitch hopper that gets used sparingly. Every truck has a built goat hook on it that gets used sparingly. Everybody's in sneakers, wearing a tool belt. They all are in their right. Let's get lit shirts, but that's really I don't really use that much else. I'm trying to think if there's anything like. So, I don't have one in here. I have a small one right here. So this, I don't know if this counts as gear, but this little spring clamp right here. Okay, so I buy much
Ah,
bigger ones. This is
yes.
quarter. Yeah, this is a 1/4 inch. I think we buy. This is 1/4 inch. I think we buy 1 inch. But so then it just stays on our tool belt at all times, like the little metal ring where you hook your hammer. You just put that on there. So then if you're clipping a house that's shingles, and you get to your last bulb and you got to move your ladder, you clip the line, right? Much bigger, and then when you move your ladder, if you bump your lights, you don't go.
You
This
don't lose them
thing,
all.
the big ones are, I mean, the ultimate lifesaver, and I think you get like 7 of them for $4 or something at Harbor Freight. And they're like the little thingies break off them and stuff, but it's fine. It doesn't need to be anything that crazy. So that's a piece of, I guess that would classify as gear, right?
I guess if we're going into like the nitty gritties of it, do you like snips or dikes or
Needle
needle nose
nose.
pliers? Needle nose
'Cause
all day
that way
long.
you can use the needle nose, if you gotta slide off a stubborn lid off a plug, like, you can use the needle nose pliers. Most often, you're cutting with it, and then again, you can get them for a fucking $1 at, Harbor Freight, because the
Yeah,
guys are
they're
gonna cut a live line and burn the holes in it and, the whole 9, like, it's gonna and lose them.
yeah, you definitely gonna do that. I think that's primarily it. I mean, we can talk about ladders, how to carry the ladders, that sort of things. But yeah, I mean, you're all about the little giant adjustable one. We got into a similar one, but this year we bought a bunch of the ones that slide up like the A-frame and then go up again. I think they're all
Mm.
Warners though, but we really liked those.
Yeah, every truck's got a little giant on it. I experimented this year with an 18-footer because I usually buy the 22, and then my buddy Colin has a 26 that I just so happened to, help him move. I think when we were building, our wives are business partners at their hair salon, so I think it was when we were building the hair salon, I'm like, "Bro, this is the 26? This thing weighs" this is the heaviest ladder I've ever encountered. This is insane. So I tested the 18. It's just too small. It just is too small too often. So it doesn't even work for cleaning combos, like, because I make the guys put it up for cleaning combos so they can clean the top of it. So the 22 is the way to go. That's on every truck. Then every truck has a 24 and a 32 foot. I try to buy the green ends of the Werner on the 32 foot. They're not so heavy, but they're almost as equally as sturdy as the blue. And then I like to buy the green as well on the 24. I was going to experiment with the 28 foot. I couldn't find one. I couldn't find one to buy. So that's what we have is Little Giant 24 and 32.
For your extension ladders, it sounds like you recommend aluminum.
Yeah.
I bought mine in fiberglass, and the tallest one is 24, I want to say. I have a hard time moving it when it's full, like when it's extended. I struggle. It's
Yeah.
heavy, so
Those are
I could
heavy.
see I could see that the aluminum might be the way to go, especially if you're going bigger, like that 32. It'd almost have to be aluminum to be able to move it.
They do they do make it in fiberglass, but moving the blue one, which is I think it's called the Type 3 rating. I don't know. My brain's not in Christmas light ladder mode right now, but it's the sturdiest aluminum. The blue one, 32 foot, is a two-man job. Like, I can do it because 'cause I'm experienced and I can kind of, like, I know how to hold it appropriately, but it's so heavy when it's extended, it's like you go home sore that night. So I had a special order through Ace Hardware, the green one, which is the level 2, the type 2, which so it's rated for 100 and no, sorry, 225 pounds instead of 250. Oh my god, it's like a different ladder. It's beautiful. I absolutely loved it. And then the 24s, the aluminum 24s, you can move fully extended, no prob.
Man, when I would imagine, so the fiberglass ones, it's a struggle. So I'm sure you remember this feeling. You're like, okay, nobody's near me. I'm gonna do it, and you start getting it, and then it starts to like you're just losing it just a little bit, and you're like, ah, like freaking out. I've dropped a few. It's not it's not a good feeling. But I hate that when like you're just struggling to try to straighten it back out because you got hit with a gust of wind or you just lost the balance for a second. Something along those
Yeah, that
lines.
especially with, like, the taller ones, like the 32s, like, one little puff of wind and you're, like, falling down. Yeah, it's crazy. The way to guard against that, by the way, for those of you that are noobs, if it starts to happen to you, you gotta do it fast, but if you slam the feet down, you'll be able to wrestle the top much easier than if you're wrestling the
Yes.
whole entire ladder. But I've
Yes.
still lost it. Yeah, I've still, like, it starts to go, I slam the feet, and I'm like, "No, no," and then it just, like, it comes down. I actually broke our cable caddy doing it. I had a brand new
Oh,
cable caddy
geez.
I just bought, and I was probably the 32 foot, but it fell and it fell on the spool and the cable caddy, and the cable caddy just like exploded. Like the chain pieces were going everywhere. I'm like, that's far more dangerous than you think coming down from that far.
Yeah, no, it is. Heavy ladder coming down from high. That's about the extent of the gear that we're using on a regular basis.
Yeah, same.
I was making fun of your chair, but I started thinking I'm upstairs and I've got this old grandma chair I'm sitting in. Look at this thing. Isn't that thing
Dude,
awful?
it's an antique. It's
So
an
I'm worse.
antique from
I think I'm
France.
worse than you. Yeah,
This one, I will
this is what
say,
was up here.
this one's comfortable, but like my little girl back when my office was at my house, like it started to kind of come apart right here, and she started let me get in the shot. There you go. And
Oh,
she
dang.
started peeling the whole top layer off. It's just a crappy bonded leather chair, dude. I wanted to buy a fabric gaming chair, and then the one I liked was like $380. I'm like, I would pay $380 for a good chair, but it's gonna come. I'm gonna be like, the arms are too low or something. I don't know. I was like,
You gotta go try it out.
I gotta go test drive the chair, bro. But all right, very good, bro. You guys should
Fun hanging out with
subscribe.
you.
Yeah, you guys should subscribe to things. And then this podcast will be live every Thursday at roughly 2 p.m. And then it will get posted to Facebook, YouTube, and my podcast, the Just Go podcast on Spotify and Apple. Hopefully I'm thinking Fridays. Like my Fridays, I've tried to keep light so I can kind of do some posting. And so you guys can subscribe. You guys can learn all about lights. You can come on live, ask us questions. And I don't know about you, Matt, but I feel very good about this episode. This was very my speed.
This was yours? Man, I gotta tell you, I felt less in control. So, yeah, but that's what's always gonna happen. You like us to get on and just go. I want a little bit more of a plan, and we're probably just gonna meet in the middle somewhere. So,
I like it like this because it's so easy.
but it is
It's
easy. It is
it's
easy.
easy. And
It
it's like
was
makes for
helpful.
like a talk show, you know?
Yeah, it was definitely helpful when we had some comments coming through, some guys talking about different things. So I think as we get our live count up with more people talking and asking questions, that would make this freestyle format a little bit more. Um, you know, for you, it's awesome because you're like, we're going to talk about gear today, and I'm like, all right, great. For me, I would have liked to okay, these are the 15 things of gear we're going to talk about, but it worked out. It's all good.
Yeah, it's good. So you guys vote. Do you like the structured or do you like the loose? So go watch episodes. What is it? One, two, three?
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 and 3 were more structured. This one was less structured. Give us some feedback. Let us know if we should more structure or less structure.
Yeah, by the way, her lights are coming down off the dormer right now. That's why I had to mute because Jacob walked in because he's going to pick up the inflatable at the elementary school and stopping by, and he didn't know what was going on. So
Miss
I had to tell
Debbie's
him.
getting her lights.
Miss
Miss
Debbie
Debbie's getting her lights down.
she'll be unlit today. So all right.
Kevin says that you thrive in chaos.
It's true. It is true. It is true. So come to Booze and Biz tonight, guys. It'll be I don't know. Last week Booze and Biz was supposed to be chaos, and not gonna lie, it went really smooth and was kind of awesome. So Booze and Biz will be live
Why
streamed
did
on
you think it
every.
was going to be chaos? I feel like you guys had a pretty structured plan. You had Jana on there, and
I just
then you asked her some pretty
was
straightforward questions. The one out the gate though was quite controversial. Should
a
we
little bit,
take a
a
dollar
little bit.
deposit or should we not?
I know. I
And
thought it was great.
it
But no,
was good. I am more convinced that it's okay than I was to start the thing. But at start, I was like, absolutely not. That's not enough money. But
yeah, I'm changing. I have IO changing my site right now. Hopefully, I just been emailing back and forth with them today, but yeah, I just thought it was gonna be crazy because we changed the day, I changed the platform, I changed the entire format, and I changed the time. Like literally, it's like a whole new show. But it ended up very smooth because I'm bad at controlling the chaos around me. I I'm okay if I'm in control of the chaos, but on Zoom, it's just like anybody can talk and like you don't know what's going on. And so just having the two guests and then being able to take people on and off screen was like, yes, this is what I've always wanted. So Doing
Yeah,
good.
I'm liking the StreamYard. I think that there's no more introductory period where it's not on probation anymore. I think we can go ahead and say StreamYard is our new format for doing all these types of things in the industry and all the industries that we're in. So
Yep. Agreed. So, all right.
peace out.
See you
Thanks,
guys
sir.
later. Love you guys. Peace. Oh, it's 2 clicks to